Recent event in Cedar Rapids, I received overwhelmingly positive feedback about the work that DOGE is doing. My entire philosophy. I was also proud to vote for President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill last week. This is a generational investment.
Can I hear that again? That is like the old-fashioned movies with a laugh track or a groan track. Okay, let me hear it again.
At a recent event in Cedar Rapids, I received overwhelmingly positive feedback about the work that DOGE is doing. My entire philosophy. I was also proud to vote for President Trump's One Big Beautiful Bill last week. This is a generational investment.
Somewhere in Hollywood, Eddie, they're like, scrap our groan track. We have something better. That was ruby red, deep red America, not just ruby red, deep red America. That was ruby red, deep red Iowa. And those were spontaneous groans when she said Doge and Big Beautiful Bill. And that was just a smidgeroo of it. That was one little tiny section of a town hall held there by Iowa Republican Congresswoman Ashley Hinson, reading nervously from her notes, where she was forced to defend Donald Trump's deeply unpopular policies and her own parties and her own role in capitulating to him. And Elon Musk, who's so unpopular, decides to follow the one rule in law in Washington, which is the amount of time a person can serve as a special government employee, so he could leave. Now, after Republicans spent much of the first few months of the Trump presidency dodging doing this at all, having town halls, specifically when they had to talk about or defend the DOGE cuts, they're now receiving the same reception as they look to tout Trump's big, beautiful bill. That groan actually sounded a little bit louder in Iowa. Now, of course, that big, not so beautiful bill is going to leave millions of Americans, including many of her own constituents, I'm sure, without health insurance, while giving the richest people in her district or in the country tax cuts. Joining our conversation is managing editor of The Bulwark, MSNBC contributor Sam Stein. Eddie's still here. Sam, you can fool some of the people, I guess, some of the time, but not all of the people all of the time when it comes to DOGE and the big, not so beautiful tax bill.
Nicole, you don't think Elon Musk has deep reverence for the Special Government Employees Act and has to...
It to me is like the funniest. I haven't found anything that Elon Musk has done particularly funny. It's so bad. But the funniest thing ever is the cover story for why he's leaving, right? Like, oh, his SGE term expired.
No, I think he really respects that law specifically, and all the other ones he's fine trampling over, but that one has a real import for him. No, he's deeply unpopular. I think that's it. And I think you see the outcomes, the byproducts of it in these town halls. I mean, DOGE is a deeply unpopular initiative that the administration put forward. Members of Congress are dealing with the consequences back in their district. Now, it's kind of interesting because there's two simultaneous conversations happening. One is a D.C. conversation and one is a back home conversation. In Washington, D.C., all the members of Congress are saying, you know what, we really love DOGE. Send over a rescissions package where we can codify everything that they cut. We want to double down on it. We love Elon. And they know Elon, they want him to spend more money on Republican politics. But back home, when they talk about the cuts, they are getting heckled. There's groans in the audience. Some of the initiatives that Elon has done, members of Congress have privately assured their constituents that they're going to try to reverse. And that's everything from cuts to VA to government services. And this is not even DOGE, but in the big, beautiful bill, the cuts to Medicaid are deeply unpopular among Trump's people. And we know this because people like Josh Hawley, who is a conservative, is out there warning everyone that this new coalition that Trump is trying to cobble together will fracture if they go forward with these types of cuts. So I'm not surprised to see members of Congress being heckled back home. This is what happens when you reverse your promises to these people that you will not touch Medicaid. This is what's going to happen.
Sam, we've spent, I think, 9 years wondering why the sort of corruption in plain sight in Trump 1.0, by today's standards, it was sort of quaint. It was the Trump International Hotel. Now it's a foreign trip that's advanced, not by White House advanced people exclusively, but by his sons doing business deals and announcing hotels and golf courses. I wonder for 9 years when that corruption out in the open catches up with Trump. This scene made me wonder if perhaps it has. Watch.
One of the things I'm really concerned about is the corruption in Washington. And I think that it undermines our faith in our government, and I think it undermines our faith in representatives. In particular, I'm thinking about the $400 million jet that was given to Mr. Trump. I'm thinking about the meme coins and the dinner at the White House. There's lots of reasons why somebody like you might be silent. You might be scared to say something. Could you help me understand why you are silent about this corruption?
It appears they have heard a lot of specifics about, again, what Trump's done in public brazenly in 2.0.
Yeah, I think you're hitting an important point here, which is when you keep saying in public. This is both a shocking amount of corruption, objectively speaking. Things that he is doing to profit off of the presidency have never been done before. We've never seen a scope like this. And it was scandalous, for instance, back in the Clinton era when donors to his campaigns were getting access to the Lincoln bedroom. In this era, you get access to the president when you buy his meme coin. That's going directly to his own profit. So it's a different layer. But because it's happening out in the public, my suspicion is that we've almost become oddly accustomed to it or calloused, and it doesn't have the sort of shock value that comes when you unearth new levels of corruption. Now, I will say the one caveat that I have here, and my colleague JVL has written about this a lot too, is the Qatari airline story, because I think for some people, like, crypto meme coins, those are kind of esoteric and hard to follow, and we might not understand them. But on an intrinsic level, I think people do understand, a foreign government is gifting a $400 jet to the president, and then he's going to be able to just use it after he's in office or even put it in his library. And now it turns out that maybe they, in fact, weren't gifting it. Maybe, in fact, he was shaking down the Qataris to get the jet, or at least that's what is being surfaced from recent reports, that Qatar is saying they did not initiate the transfer of this. And so I think that's a lot more relatable for people. And they can say, that doesn't seem right. That seems totally unethical. And those types of things can feed a culture of corruption type attack that worked very well for Democrats in 2006, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a $400 million plane. You said $400 plane. That would be the Lego version.
That would have been like that would have been a very expensive toy for a kid. But no, $400 million. Let me put million. Okay.